And we are live. Welcome into the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast morning show for Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. We're in February. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch. This is episode 22 of the morning show. So good morning, Burley. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. You?
It was a long day of teaching, but at my day job. But yeah, it was regular day though. But so a little tired, but hanging in there. It's the morning in spirit for expat, obviously, of course. Yeah,
Whereas
here on
the literal
show.
morning for me.
The literal morning for Burley. Yes, exactly.
And we have some love for the chat. Hi, peace. Morning, guys. Morning.
Peace.
I do have your shirt, but the ring light kind of washes it out. Hi, Z.
Hey, peace and AZ. How you guys doing? And welcome into the morning show. And yeah, we got a big one today, guys. Acquisition hell, I guess you could say.
I think we can all say when we do get to that.
Yeah.
Out of all the things you would have saw for an acquisition, this is the one I couldn't have seen this.
This was a strange one. Yeah. We're going to be talking about that. That's going to be our final story of the show. Is the main story of the show. We're going to save the best for last with the Sony acquisition of Bungie. We're going to talk about that. But obviously, we have a few other smaller stories that broke as well. For example, It Takes Two, which was the game of the year at the Game Awards this past year, 2021. They're making a movie out of it now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news that dropped, as well as the next state of play for Gran Turismo 7. We're going to be talking about that, as well as the acquisition that Sony made of Bungie. Yeah, man. Acquisition hell. I mean, it's really weird. It feels like we're going to be seeing maybe 3, 4, 5 more stories like this year, I bet. I mean, it's getting to the point, Burley, and we're probably going to be talking about this a lot on the weekly podcast that we record this coming Saturday. But, I mean, these two companies, I mean, Nintendo, it's funny. It's like Nintendo's just sitting there and they're just watching, and it's like, oh, this is interesting what they're doing here. It's like, it's like they're not going to do any of this acquisition stuff. I mean, they're just living on Earth 2 and living in their own space and coming out with Pokemons and Marios and Zeldas and stuff like that. But you got Sony and you got Microsoft, and they're just positioning themselves for the subscription battle for the next 5, 6, maybe 10 years for this generation and into the next generation. It's really going to be interesting. And of course, Sony made their first move today. We're going to be talking about that. So exciting stuff. So in the chat, so Z says you guys see the PlayStation is compatible with Discord now. Yes, actually, I got a message on the Arena Podcast Discord that we run about setting up PlayStation. I'm probably going to do that later. I haven't done it yet, but
we've also kind of covered that in an episode way back when they first started, because like Microsoft tried to buy Discord. That didn't go through, but then they announced a partnership. Discord announced a partnership with Sony. So yeah, it's finally, now we're just finally getting to fruition to that.
Yeah.
That Z, when will I stop being warned for cap spam? Yeah, Nightbot needs to be configured. We'll get to that eventually. We're more concerned about the stories at the moment. Sorry, Z.
Yeah. So sorry about that. But anyway, okay, so we're going to get to the first story, which is about It Takes Two. So before we get into that, though, it's time for Burley to get the morning coffee brew started, okay? So we will be back right after this brief video segue clip. So get the morning brew going, Burley. Here we go.
I've activated it.
Yep. All right, so Burley, you played a little bit of It Takes Two. I still haven't played it yet. I haven't had a chance.
I have yet to play it. I'll be honest. I own the game. I have actually bought this game.
Yeah.
And because I really do want to play it, but the problem is you got to get timing. Like I got to get someone to play with, and the timing and like work out of schedules. Because my problem is I don't want to sit there, start it for 15, 20 minutes, and then either one of us has to stop.
Yeah. I have it through Game Pass. It's like kind of like the Friends Pass, but I just haven't. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to play it yet either. But I've watched other streamers stream it. And it's an amazing game, and of course it's well deserved to have won Game of the Year, I think. So
it still shocked me that was the game that won Game of the Year. I thought others would.
Right. Well, anyway, this is from Deadline and Alexandra Del Rosario. So It Takes Two developer Hazelight Studios to adapt video game for TV film with Sonic the Hedgehog producer and writers. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of this for you. So let me get to it here. So video game developer Hazelight Studios is going to team with Sonic the Hedgehog co-producer Dimitri M. Johnson and his DJ2 Entertainment to bring It Takes Two to screen. The two-player video game, which took home the Marquee Game of the Year prize at the Game Awards 2021, follows married couple Cody and May, who are struggling to keep it together for their young daughter. They're transformed into magical dolls and must navigate their hardest issues into insecurities with the help of an anthropomorphic couples therapy book named Dr. Hakim. They traverse fantastical imaginations of their mundane home to try to rekindle the love they once had. No studio or network has been attached to the project yet, but Sonic the Hedgehog writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who will return to pen the film's upcoming sequel, alongside John Whittington, will adapt the video game. So the video game hails from A Way Out creator and Hazelight Studio founder Joseph Fares. So what do you think of this, Burley? How well do you think this will be received, moving from a video game into a movie adaptation?
This could, if they do this right, this could be really well, I think, because I know the story for this game because I've watched people stream and play it.
Mm-hmm.
The story for this is quite good. So you could and you could actually attract a lot of people that may not, that aren't into the video games into this, because you do have a good relationship drama and all that.
Right.
So you can maximize on that crowd.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. Like, I kind of hope the writers for the game also get input on the film.
Yeah.
Because they did a good job at so many points of the game. So if you can get them back in to kind of help and read over the script and the writing.
Yeah.
And just, maybe punch it up, like, because you don't have to go, like, for this, I don't think you need to do all the wacky things. Like, because you don't need to make it too video gamey. You can just make a good film out of this.
Right. Well, you figure the CG budget is probably going to have to be huge for a game like that, or for a movie like this, definitely. With main actors and actresses, and then going into this type of world, the CG would probably, cost an enormous amount, I think. So
CG's 95% of the budget.
Exactly. Yeah. So
because they're not going to be in their human. Sorry, the little spoiler here. They're not in their human forms very long.
Well, yeah, probably about 20 minutes of the entire film that you're gonna have.
If that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It'd probably be about a half hour in total, because you got to give a bit.
Who knows?
Then, show like good moments of them together, bad moments.
Yeah.
And then just them with their daughter.
Yeah. So Peace said in the chat, "Pour me a cuppa." We did, Peace. We got your cafe macchiato. Yeah. All ready for you. So interesting indeed. We don't know exactly when this is going to be coming, but at least we know that this is going to be made into a film. So we will, of course, inform you of any new news that comes of this, and we'll keep an eye out. So, yeah. Just think, Burley, if Joseph Fares were to win an Oscar.
Oh, that would just be... Now,
Can you just... Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. So him actually going on stage.
We need that. It would actually make me watch something of the Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to see him go up there and actually see if he would throw some F-bombs out on national television.
I would.
Yeah.
Like, I know, you know he would do it, and like he'd be barred and everything, but like, you know how much respect and credit that guy would get for that, and like I would love it if he just didn't do like just F-bombs, but he calls them all out for all what they all are. So just kind of just be great.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on now. So we're gonna shift from It Takes Two to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. So we got some news on that. We're going to get to that. But first, Burley is going to, of course, do his little CG trick here. And with his remote control, he's going to fly our podcast drone. We will be back right after this.
Drone's ready.
All right, so Final Fantasy.
I was going to say, before we get into this, we've just got a few from the chat here.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Peace appreciates the coffee, and then Z saying League of Legends is such a frustrating game, man. It's doing my nutting. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've never played League, but while I hear, it's like I hate play this game. I play to hate it, and it's like, okay.
Z, have you watched the Netflix series for League of Legends that they came out with called Arcane? I highly recommend it, and our other co-host of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast, Turn-Based Carl, would highly recommend it as well.
I need to watch it.
It's really good. Yes. Z, he says, I have not. I highly recommend it. You should check it out. Season 1 is really good, and they've already renewed for Season 2. Maybe it's going to come out later this year or early next year, but it's amazing. It's the animation is superb. So check it out. Yeah. Okay. So Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 reveal. I'm going to get to this here. So this is from PSU and Michael Herodance. So, Burley, did you play Remake Part 1 already?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yesterday, because I didn't notice this till midway through the day, but yesterday was the 25th anniversary of the original Final Fantasy VII, which is my favorite game of all time.
Boo,
so I'm really looking forward to Remake Part 2. I have not played Interlude. That's the only thing I have. I haven't bought the Interlude DLC.
I'll just say, this year marks my 26th year in Japan.
Oh,
and Final Fantasy VII was the very first game I played in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit of nostalgia for you all. So, yeah. So anyway, speaking during a live stream for the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary today, as Burley, you were referring to there, Square Enix's Kitase Yoshinori revealed that the company plans to unveil Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 at some point this year. So this is a translation of Kitase-san's comments. It reads as follows. We are hard at work on Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, so please look forward to that. In addition, with regards to the long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, there will be more information this year if we can come out with it, is basically what that means. So pushed to if he was sure that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 would be unveiled this year, he replied, quote, well, yeah, we just started the 25th anniversary of the Final Fantasy VII, so we want to celebrate and get fans excited. So within the next 12 months, we want to share some more information. Look forward to the more information that will be coming out for that. So the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary post on Twitter also revealed that Square Enix has more projects related to the much-loved RPG following the remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake was released for PS4 in April 2020, with a PS5 release following last year as Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. So, Burley, what do you make of all of this? Are we going to get more information on Part 2 this year?
Oh, we're gonna get a teaser trailer this year. We're gonna get a teaser for this.
E3? Game Awards?
I don't think it'll be E3 because remember, this game is PlayStation exclusive.
Right.
The first part just came on the Epic. So it'll be on your State of Play. It'll be a State of Play.
Okay.
I think Sony is working to get them to get a good State of Play out of this. Because if anything Sony needs, you want to show something hit, you got to go with your big guns. And this is probably one of their biggest bullets they have to show that make people still believe in PlayStation.
No, not now. Now they have Destiny.
We'll go there.
We'll get to that. But anyway, I agree with you, Burley, on that.
Yeah, no, it's like this will get shown in a State of Play.
Yeah.
This game ain't coming this year. We could get Part 2 next year. I wouldn't be surprised because remember, they have put a lot of the groundwork in. It's now just going from here. But like we got to know because we don't know what the roadmap to this is. We don't know how many games is Remake going to be. They haven't told us.
Yeah.
We don't know. Is it going to be one game? Because the original game was 3 discs. Are they going to be? Is it going to be 3 parts? Who the hell knows anymore?
Yeah, I haven't even played part 1 of the remake yet. I haven't, with all the other games that I've been playing, I haven't had the time for it yet, but I would like to get to it. And then whenever I'll probably get to it, probably close to around the time that part 2's close to coming out. Yeah. So, yeah. But, we shall see. But anyway, we did get that little bit of news today. So, and yeah, man, 25 years. Jeez. I mean, it just time flies, man.
Well, Square's got a lot of ovens in the fire right now.
Yeah.
Because you've got Forspoken, you have Final Fantasy 16, you have their big cash cow right now, Final Fantasy 14, you got Dragon Quest 12 in development, and then some other Marvel properties and stuff they've got in development. They've got a lot of stuff on the go. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting about 16. I mean,
16, I'm really interested because it's got the guy from 14 working on it, and it's going to play like a single player MMO, they're saying.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but what kind of time frame though? I don't know, man. Yeah.
I don't think 16's probably coming until about 2024. Because when they said late last year when they didn't really show anything,
right?
It's like, they're I think they're behind. It's like, fine, just take your time. Like, churn me out a good game.
Exactly. Okay, so it's time to move on. Speaking of Sony, obviously, we have a State of Play coming this week, Burley.
Tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow, exactly. And it's going to be all about Gran Turismo 7, and we'll talk about that right after this brief video segue. We will be right back. All right, so Gran Turismo 7, Burley. Obviously, of course, Xbox, came out with Forza, this past, like in, what was it, in November? Early November, Forza came out, right? Or was it October? October, yeah, okay.
October, I'm pretty sure. Let me
some point, at that point, late in the year it came out. But anyway, so on the Sony side of things, of course, their big car racing
it was
title.
November, sorry. I thought it was October. It's November 4th, but you can understand why I'm thinking.
Yeah. So anyway, Gran Turismo 7. So we're going to have a State of Play that's going to be dedicated to it. So I'm going to get to the story here from NME and Jen Allen. So let me go ahead and read some of this for you. A Gran Turismo 7 State of Play is coming on Wednesday, and it promises just over 30 minutes of new PlayStation 5 footage. Sony revealed the news on a blog post and tweet shared earlier yesterday, the 31st. Though not many details have been announced just yet, the official PlayStation Twitter account unveiled a 30-second video showcasing a little of what to expect from Gran Turismo 7. Basically, fast cars, good looks, and some stunning racetracks to drive down. The PlayStation blog post promises new footage as well as gameplay details for Gran Turismo 7 on Wednesday. It will be possible to watch live on Twitch or YouTube, so it should be easy to catch up on. And of course, we will be discussing the contents of that state of play here on our morning show after that state of play. Yeah, Burley, 30 minutes on Forza Horizon 7. Or no, I'm sorry, Gran Turismo 7. Yeah. So
how many fingers am I holding up?
I'm still on the story. Hold them up again. Hold them up again. How many fingers? Okay.
4.
Yeah, of course. So
I would do the Vulcan thing if I could.
Yeah. No. So yeah, Gran Turismo 7, 30 minutes of footage. I mean, is that too much?
Well, they said that will be the main focus. I think you're going to get a 2-minute teaser, like a little another trailer for Horizon, because Horizon's
really?
Horizon's out in 16 days after this state of play. So
right.
do you not try and push it? I think you gotta sneak Horizon in there.
Mm-hmm.
Gran Turismo, it's going to be like the other things, like the Ratchet and Clank one. You do a couple little trailers at the beginning, and then it's Gran Turismo, and that's where I'm going to kind of fall off with the thing. Like, this is going on when I stream normally.
Yeah.
It's like, normally I would stream these state of plays, but it's like, I don't care enough to watch Gran Turismo 7 live.
Yeah, but if this was Horizon Forbidden West, Burley, I know you, man. You would be all over that. Yeah, you'd be all over
100%. I will have no problem tonight. But I don't want to sit there for 20 minutes and watch them talk about cars and this and that. Like, I'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really into cars and if you're really into racing games, this is a lot of people into those type of games will be watching this for sure. And especially out here in Japan, there's a lot of people that are into Gran Turismo. So it's being heavily marketed in the electronic stores out here in Japan as well. So along with Horizon Forbidden West. So
it is a big franchise.
Right. Right.
It is nothing to scoff at. Like, so they've had this since the first PlayStation. Gran Turismo.
Of course. Yeah.
And peace. I haven't played Gran Turismo since I was a kid. Yeah. I played, the last one I played was 3 on the PS2. That was it.
Yeah.
And then Horizon Forbidden West is going to be so good. Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm playing it day one as well. And I'm sure Burley's going to be streaming it. I actually might even stream it myself, too. So, of all things. But I know Burley's definitely going to be streaming it day one. I'm going to be playing it day one as well.
Yeah.
So, we're really excited about it. So,
for your Gran Turismo fans, great that you're getting this.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony, I'm hoping they put other stuff at the beginning, like other good stuff, and reminding people of Horizon and some of the other projects.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I understand you're going to do this, but like Sony last year with their state of plays, for the most part, they were horrible. I think we can all agree. Like, they would sprinkle a little in there and then just get to the one game and you're sitting there, unless you were into that game, like the Ratchet one. I really liked because I'm a Ratchet Clank guy. But I knew people that aren't Ratchet Clank people that watch that and were like, oh, I don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah. Oh, and off of this topic, though, I just want to throw this out there. There was another little bit of news today of another big franchise, MLB The Show 2022. Again, this year will also be coming to Game Pass day one. So that was announced today as well. So and the cover star on MLB The Show 2022 is, of course, Ohtani Shohei. He's plays for the California or the Los Angeles Angels, whatever you want to call them. I just call them the Angels. Yeah, he's a probably the biggest Japanese baseball star that has gone to the major leagues, kind of like Ichiro did, 15, 20 years ago. So coming to Game Pass day one. So that was another, story that dropped for another big franchise today. So
okay,
yeah. So okay, Burley, it is time to get to the big story of the day. All right. Yes, Sony has purchased Bungie. So we're going to get to that right after this brief video segue. Okay, so Burley, I just want to say this before we get into this. Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of people have been comparing this purchase of Sony purchasing Bungie to Microsoft purchasing Mojang. It's kind of similar in a sense, but we'll get to that. But let me go ahead and read a little bit of this from IGN and Matt Kim. So just some of the details, and then Burley, you and I will get more into it. We'll delve into it. So Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced it will acquire Destiny developer Bungie for $3.6 billion. So I think the Mojang deal was like $2.5 billion. I think it was somewhere in there. So,
let me.
Yeah, you could check that out. But anyway, let me go ahead and continue reading this. GameIndustry.biz reports that following the deal, Bungie will be run as, quote, an independent subsidiary, end quote, of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and will remain a multi-platform studio with the option to, quote, self-publish and reach players where they choose to play, end quote.
It was 1.8 billion.
1.8. Oh, okay. So thank you for that, Burley. So Bungie is best known as the creators of Halo, but since becoming an independent studio, have focused their efforts on Destiny, a live service first-person shooter RPG where players can explore the galaxy as Guardians of Light. The company is also working on a new IP. Okay, so here's one of the quotes. Quote, "We've had a strong partnership with Bungie since the inception of the Destiny franchise, and I couldn't be more thrilled to officially welcome the studio to the PlayStation family," end quote, says SIE President CEO Jim Ryan. In the official PlayStation blog post, Ryan begins by confirming Bungie's independence. Quote, "I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher," end quote. Ryan also says that Bungie will, quote, sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization, end quote, where the two groups will collaborate. PlayStation Studios will also gain access to Bungie's proprietary tools, which can be used for PlayStation Studios teams, according to the blog. In a separate blog post, Bungie detailed what the acquisition means for the company, calling SIE, quote, a partner who unconditionally supports us in all we are and who wants to accelerate our vision to create generation-spanning entertainment, all while preserving the creative and independence that beats in Bungie's heart, end quote. So, yeah, Burley, it's interesting how when Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, Sony was, they came out with that press release saying, we expect Microsoft to, adhere to, the agreements when it comes to like Call of Duty and stuff like that. So, it would be funny if Microsoft, shot back at Sony and was like, I'm sure they're not going to do this, but like, we expect Sony to abide by and honor the existing, contracts that are there or whatnot.
That they've already kind of said they were. Bungie said that we're going to stick multi-platform.
Yeah.
And so Sony's not going to fully just rein them in.
Right.
So
I don't know, man. And our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast, he was skeptical about, like, for example, DLC or other like cosmetic, like, or other types of content, kind of like on the lines of how Spider-Man for the Marvel's Avenger game did not come to Xbox because Sony claimed it as exclusive to Sony. So now that Destiny is going to be, a Sony owned studio, even though they're saying that Bungie is going to be very independent still and the game is going to be multi-platform, still there might be some like additional content that will be exclusive to PlayStation. What do you think of that?
Oh, I think that'll happen because they did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure with the first Destiny, there was exclusive content to Sony and exclusive content to Microsoft.
Yeah.
So we've got some comments here. It sees like Microsoft and Sony are still at war, but instead of consoles wars, they're more like who bought the most companies. They're more just trying to bolster each side and see, well, if you go with us, you have this, we have this, and
I love Peace's comment. Yeah, they're all kind of like the penguins on Finding Nemo. Mine.
Oh God, that does work.
Good. That's great, man.
But I think we can all agree, out of all the acquisitions we thought Sony would go for, this is a strange one. Like, Bungie owns none of their IPs that made them, other than Destiny. That was the only thing. Like, Microsoft bought Bungie to do Halo, and then they went back to independent, then went to Activision, then lost them. And then in like 2020, Bungie was kind of making it sound like, oh, we'll go back to Microsoft.
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft's like, all you have is Destiny. Not to say that game in like Destiny 2 isn't big, because it is still quite big.
Yeah.
It still makes money, but that's all you are. And it's
right.
So Sony, like, I just don't get this buy. Like, if Bungie still owned like Myth, Marathon, Oni, some of the older franchises, maybe they own some of them, but like I know Myth they don't, because that's what I knew Bungie from, because that's what I played before Halo and all that. If they own that kind of stuff and they had that back catalog of IPs and they could go back to, that would be interesting. But all they have is
Bungie.
Pigeons. Oh yeah. No, it wasn't pigeons. It was seagulls. There were seagulls.
The seagulls. Yes, that's right. That's right. Peace the seagulls. Yes.
Yeah.
My hometown, my home city, we have tons of seagulls out there in San Francisco. Yeah. Mine.
We have tons here.
Yeah. But anyway,
this is a deal I don't get. Like, I thought Sony, I'll be honest, and people think, because Sony has said they're going to make more acquisitions, like, I still say this. I think if anyone Sony would have gone for, it would have been Square, because they have such a tight-knit relationship.
But do they have the money to buy Square, though, Burley? I mean, it's really interesting. $3.6 billion for one studio. That's the thing that is bizarre about this to me. That they would put so much money into one studio, and that's what their pattern has been recently. Whoa. Buying, of course, Housemarque, which has been a part of them for a long time. The partnership they've had together, and Bungie is, of course, has had like a partnership with PlayStation on the marketing side of things, especially with Destiny and stuff like that. But just the one studio, whereas to buy a Square Enix or to buy a Sega or to buy something like that, that's going to be in the double billion digits, when it comes to like tens to 20 billions probably. And I just don't think Microsoft or Sony has that kind of cash that they're going to be able, or that the high up executives in Japan here in Tokyo are going to allow them to just throw at these big companies to acquire. I don't know. I mean,
I think they may have enough money to buy Square, but the executives may kind of stop that one. Like Square, because like Square for me, it'd be just a really strategic move, because you take one of the biggest publishers in Japan. Microsoft don't have, then you have to you got to play hardball with Microsoft on that. They got to really try to get stuff from Square. You do you do the multi-platform games, but you kick them out of the RPG market. Because Square you've got the Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, you got some of the biggest JRPG names.
That's why I think, because Microsoft, and we've talked about this a lot on the podcast before, Microsoft wants to improve their image here in Japan, and they want to get more of a full foothold into the Japanese market and with JRPGs. If they buy Square Enix or if they buy Sega, that will help them. And that's what they really, really want. So I think when it comes to Microsoft, I think they're in a war with time to try to get a deal done, because now with this acquisition today, this was probably, something that was more reactionary in a sense. Yes, they were probably working on this deal even before the Microsoft Activision Blizzard, news came out. But once that news came out, they had to expedite this, I think, very quickly, because they know that Microsoft is not done. They're not done buying companies, and they're probably negotiating with Square Enix. They're probably negotiating with Sega. They might even be negotiating with your favorite company, Capcom. So I mean, it's a race of time. Yes, and I agree with Z. This is a content war now. It is not a console war anymore. This is not a console war. This is a content war. And for this content war to continue, they have to acquire these studios. They have to acquire these companies, and to position themselves to have the most content for their streaming services like Game Pass, and then whatever Spartacus is going to be. So it's a race through time. So yeah, go ahead, Burley. Go ahead.
We got a few things in chat, and then I'll make the one little point we just didn't get. We kind of brushed over with this deal. Peace high fives us, and she's like, Capcom. She's not a fan of them either. But here's the thing. I don't know if it was in that IGN article or other articles, but they were talking about stuff with movies for like Destiny and stuff.
Yeah.
So what does Sony have? They have Sony Pictures. So this is kind of where they're going. I think Sony is trying to kind of get back into the video game movie market and like really go with, because we know there's the huge thing with the Last of Us TV series, right? Ghost of Tsushima making a film.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's more the art what Sony is trying to push. Like, I'll be interested to see with what the new IP. Like, they're obviously going to keep Destiny 2 and some of other Bungie's games multi-platform because they paid $3.6 billion.
Yeah,
and they want to keep them. Like, they want to get their money back.
Right.
I'm interested to see where Sony does next, because this was out of field mood. I didn't see this. You didn't see this.
Well, I mean, basically, with Activision now being a part of Microsoft and that first-person shooter franchise, obviously PlayStation was also probably thinking, to get Bungie, because they do need a first-person shooter franchise, and this gives it to them. So with Destiny,
there's gonna be, because I know Destiny 2's got that huge giant roadmap of like, I think they promised like 20 friggin' years or whatever.
Through at least 2024, there's supposed to be content coming out.
There's one DLC coming this month of February, and then another one later this year, and then I think one in 2023. We have a vague idea.
Yeah,
but like, so they're gonna keep with Destiny 2.
Yeah,
but it's just, I'm interested to see where they go with new IPs. But with Destiny 2, I think we'll get some exclusive stuff for Sony for the PlayStation side.
Yeah,
they will do that.
Yeah,
but I'm more interested to see who takes the next shot next. Who's going to get acquired next? Like, you think it'd be a Ubisoft? Like some people I saw were like, why didn't Sony buy EA? And it's like, you know how much money you have to buy to get EA?
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. And
even Microsoft doesn't want to go for it, because you know how much money you have to revamp. Like, EA isn't besides that they're making a lot of money, but all the licensing they have to pay and all that stuff, like, you have to revamp EA way too much. It's going to cost way too much compared to what it's worth.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna take 5 years of a loss, because you have to revamp, change everything, and then they're going to be working in those deals, and the NFL and all that can easily just say, what, you're not going to pay us the old 700 million or whatever it is? We're not giving you the license anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when it comes to EA, you got EA Play, which is a part of Game Pass Ultimate as well. So, I mean, there is that kind of, deal between EA and Microsoft. But so if there's any company that would have the cash to throw and to actually buy them, I mean, if you can do it with Activision, I'm sure you can do it with EA. I mean, Microsoft would be the best bet.
If they were to go buy EA right now, then the antitrust stuff would come in.
Oh yeah. That's why you have to wait. I mean, and I think a company like EA, Microsoft can wait because I don't think Sony's going to have enough money to go after them themselves. I just don't think that. But it's a race with time when it comes to these Japanese companies, though. I think the rest of this year is going to be very interesting when it comes to Sega, when it comes to Square, Capcom. Sorry, peace. Burley. So we'll see.
Let Microsoft buy Capcom, because then it'll all go to Game Pass. I never have to give Capcom a fucking dime again.
There you go, man. There you go. Yeah, we shall see. But yeah,
I know. And sorry, Tweel, I know, because he doesn't like us swearing because he listens to this. I'm sorry. I tried to cut back, but for emphasis, I had to put this.
Burley's he's on his spiritual opium a little bit this morning. So, but anyway, shout out to Tweel. So, great friend and patron, and thank you so much for your support and everything. So, and also the piece says here in the chat, this year is definitely going to be interesting. Yes, it is, and it's only February. And it's only February, which for Burley and I means 2022 has officially begun.
It's now 2022. Yesterday it was 2021.
Right.
We had two massive deals in January. Yeah. I'm curious to see what's the next studio, and who's going to purchase it. We're never going to guess pricing. Like, pricing is ridiculous to try and think, because I didn't think Bungie would be equated to 3.6 billion.
Right.
But then when you talk about film rights and all that and TV show stuff, it's like, okay, I can kind of make a little more sense. I still don't see 3.6 billion, but I kind of understand that.
Right. Yeah, and tomorrow I will be revealing the thumbnail for our next episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast that we will be recording this coming weekend, and you probably will have kind of an idea from our talk tonight of what that topic of the show might be this coming weekend. So anyway, I will be revealing that on the Hump Day version of the morning show, our Wednesday morning show. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, Z, Microsoft buys everyone and ends console war. Yeah, that'll never happen.
No,
End of story. Nintendo will hold out. Yeah, end of story.
Well, see, the console war is already over. There is no console war anymore. Like I said earlier, it's a content war now, as we've been discussing.
Like, Nintendo's in their weird space. Yeah. Sony is mostly in the traditional console market. Microsoft is,
but that's going to change. That's going to have to change.
It'll change, but it's going to be a while before that changes.
Yeah,
but let's be honest. And Microsoft is in the Game Pass market. That's
true.
That is.
Yeah, but PlayStation is slowly realizing that they might be okay for this generation, but if they don't change, they're going to be left in the dust, because Microsoft with their cloud services and with Xbox Game Pass and everything, and with all the other acquisitions that are coming, I mean, like, they're not done.
Microsoft knows they already own the world. I think a company that has two mouse ears wants to tell you differently.
And also Google, Apple, Amazon, those are Microsoft's competitors, true competitors. So
Apple is one of the biggest gaming market.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because and you know why? Because they take 30% on any transaction on the App Store, And there's so many mobile games on the microtransaction. They just make a ton of money.
Yep.
For just being a host.
Yep. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for this edition of the morning show. So
peace. Apple can suck.
Apple can beep. Yeah. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah. But do you have an iPhone, Peace?
Oh,
do you have an iPhone? Yes or no? Tell us. Because here in Japan, it's like 8 out of 10 people have an iPhone, pretty much.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Yes, sad face.
Yes, sad face. There you go. I knew it.
Don't worry. I'll convert her to Android eventually. Don't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have an Android. So, but
I'll teach you the powers
I'm in the
of
minority out here in Japan. Most people like to use iPhones because it's simplistic, the iOS and everything. But anyway, that's a discussion. That's a discussion for another day about Apple. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this episode of the morning show. Of course, you could catch us on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Meta, wherever you like to watch your videos here. So and we also do a Star Wars show, and it's coming tomorrow. Our next chapter 6. Is going to be coming out tomorrow. We're going to be doing a reactions video for that as well. So that should be probably coming out around the end of the week. So stay tuned for that, for the Book of Boba Fett, chapter 6. Hopefully it will be Boba Fett in this coming episode, I hope. Yeah.
Oh, so it's all going to be on what was that? What's the name of Gina Caruso's character? Mandalorian.
Yeah. But anyway, chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, we will be doing a reactions video to that, and it'll be coming out towards the end of the week. So stay tuned for that. And of course, our regular episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, we will be recording this coming weekend as well. So stay tuned for that. And of course, episode 71 is already on free podcast services and on YouTube in video format at the Arena Productions. So check that out. And of course, our Patreon. Please check that out. All of our content is up on Patreon, and you can get it by becoming a patron in early access and ad-free as well. So, and come there and, help us make great content and support what we're doing there. So thank you so much. Okay, Burley.
Thank you, Peace. Great show, guys. Have a great evening. You as well.
Yeah, you as well. Take care. And thank you, Z, and everybody else that came in and watched us on Video On Demand. So we're looking forward to bringing you the next episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast Morning Show tomorrow. So our Wednesday edition. So, Burley, ready to kill the feed?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So take care, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day and have a great rest of your morning. Peace out. Burley, kill the feed.
Killing the feed.